Now I would like to ask the translator to be very specific about the following terminology. Usually people talk about assessment of learning, meaning that what the students have been, what they have learned. And in Finland, it's very common to say that we talk about assessment for learning. And with this difference, I'm trying to emphasize the fact that in Finland, we utilize assessment to support students' learning, not as such to tell them how well or how bad they have accomplished the exercises or the tests after a certain period of time. But we are also using the assessment to provide them opportunities to find some new knowledge and skills along the process, not only at the very end of it. As Erkko said, in junior high school, the secondary school level, which is grades 7 to 9, there are these periods, 5 of them every year, and like he said, we have tests for the students after each period, but also during the period the students get feedback and assessment. And then one more question for you to think about in your own work context is that what would you like to achieve when you are assessing? What's the goal? Why do you assess? I think that is a long question to answer and to think about. That it might open some new perspectives also to this very important feature of education in globally thinking, not only here in Finland or in Kazakhstan, but any other place as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Raimo. Now, when you say that, I think I must tell you something about my teaching, especially in mathematics. There are these. Not every student of ours is a fan of mathematics, and not everyone is very skilled either. But as you know, if you have done any real research, like truly making a research, the chances of failing are very great. If you take any research project, I think if you go to these research development conferences or so, you will find that 9 of 10 research fails, and probably 1 of 10 of this technological innovation researches really bring up something new, something true. It's a risky business, right? Doing research is taking risks. It's just exploring, and we have such a fantastic stories in the history of science of phenomenal fails, which then again have turned to more information or more knowledge. Now, I personally want to feed this idea. I don't think it's good if all and every research activity succeeds. It's something wrong in that. Research does not always succeed. Okay, failing is perfectly all right. It tells us that we have to do something differently or something better, but it's not failing in any sense that it would mean that you are not good, or you're probably even worse, you should not try again. That's the most terrible thought you can think. I failed, I shouldn't try anything like this again. The idea is horrendous. Okay, now what I was saying, that when I have these tests, I usually reward the best fails. I have this. I used to tell my pupils some of the most phenomenal fails my pupils have succeeded, and I give them extra points for courage. I may tell you a short example. We have mathematics exam. It was about geometric series, and there was this mobile phone factory, and we gave us relatively reasonable selling numbers. Okay, January they sold 1,500 cell phones. March they sold 15,000 cell phones. And the question is, if the selling goes on like this, how many phones has the factory sold by the end of year? And I was expecting a relatively reasonable number of cell phones. Now, one student succeeded to calculate the number of cell phones which have mass roughly equal to the black hole in the center of our galaxy. That was something. That was, whoa. Probably she was not the best of mathematician, but she would be a fantastic sales manager. So you make this calculation and you find out that you will sell more, like 3 billion times the cell phones of the mass of Earth. That's something, really. Okay, so it's not so simple. There's always the element of science is always the play, the play of thoughts. So not always expect to have it right. Sometimes the wrong answer will be much funnier, and even sometimes it will be good for everyone to have a little bit of reality check. So that's about assessment, and she got an extra point for courage. I just had to give that. So she didn't fail the test, really.
Also, one addition, Erkko, you usually use this, but I was listening to Erkko's presentation about half a year ago, and I learned a great deal of things about science and so forth. But one issue that really got me as well, when you remember you quoted Thomas Edison?
Oh yes.
When he speaks about failing.
Okay, don't give that, Raimo. I will give that. I will.
Okay.
I will give that later.
We'll do so.
Yes, I will give that later. We will return to that. Okay, but after this lengthy answer, I hope that told something about us, and I was happy to tell this one. In Finland, we are blessed with academic freedom. We do have national curricula, and we do have the national settings for goals of each and every unit. But inside that box, inside of what is demanded nationally, you are, as a teacher, very free to choose which methods you use, in which order sometimes you teach things, and in which ways and methods you use. So I think it's a great strength, and it's also, it makes us very proud that in order that we are doing our best to find the best solutions, and do our best to find the best methods and tools to do the work, and we are allowed to do it ourselves. So nationally, we do have the goals, and there are rules. You have to teach this fact, this and this and this and this, and there's just no cutting short. And it's public information. You can download that book from the internet, and everyone can see it. We can see it, pupils can see it, the parents can see it, and and that's where the things are written down. But they are not too specific. It would be nice to have, like, maybe Raimo could have us a translated like one translated example, like what it looks like, and it dictates of about 20 hours of teaching, and 30 hours of teaching, and also the other activities. And now, since we have this relatively good academic freedom, we have chance to modify our doings after what we suit best. Frankly, really, usually those go quite mechanically. There are readily written lesson plans, and very many teachers, of course, use them because that's easy. That's naturally, that's easy, but that's not the law. You can use the ready written lesson plans if you feel like it, and certainly that will be okay. But then again, if you are a good teacher, you will adapt after how your pupils are, what are their strengths and interests. So you, of course, choose to spend more time in those parts which you think are good for your pupils, and maybe stress a little bit less those parts that you know you are wasting your time. Nicely said. Or you just don't believe after your experiments that they are so much necessary. And then, of course, as a teacher or topic, you have the bigger picture. How does this course interact with other parts of the discipline, and you make decisions after that. So there probably, very often there's some overlap. There's something that's taught in different courses, so you can, if you have good skills and knowledge of your topic, you can make wise decisions which things you teach at which time. And in science, it of course makes difference. What gear do you have? Do you have tools to make this sort of experiment or that sort of experiment? And then you make decisions of what sorts of experiments you do. However, no time is ever enough. So you just, at sometimes you have to just have to give up. But okay, I would like to say this, and I would like to say that. But things happen, and viruses come, and then we just have to accept the fact that okay, it didn't go like we dreamed. But we are in a happy situation in Finland that we are not so strongly regulated, and we have a possibility to really use our best knowledge of a discipline and our pupils to tailor the course.